Change. The word alone can be challenging. How do we get started? Where will the change lead? Don't sit there and worry about it. Be the change. Welcome to Be the Change Radio. Host Christina Bloom has been a professional psychic and spiritual advisor for 20 years, offering psychic and mediumship readings for individuals and groups. She also teaches several classes in psychic development and metaphysics. In addition, she is an author who has published 2 books so far and is the co-owner of Moonbow Publications and Productions, LLC. Are you ready for that change now? Here is your host of Be the Change Radio, Christina Bloom.
Hey everybody, welcome to Be the Change Radio. I'm your host, Christina Bloom, and you are listening on WLTKDB.com, Paranormal Talk Radio. Thanks for being here. It's been, wow, I just had the most amazing weekend, you guys. I have to tell you, I was up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and if you don't know where that is, it's way up on Lake Superior, and it is beautiful. I got to spend the weekend with a house full of amazing spiritual women who are just off the charts energy, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Got to do a great fair up there, the Keweenaw Summer Celebration that happens the first week of August, and it was incredible. Just the views. There are mountains in the Midwest. You just have to go really far north to find them, and Upper Peninsula of Michigan has them, and it's just gorgeous if you ever get the chance to go there. But I came back from that experience, and a lot of awakening energy. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on there, but it's just being around people, who are of your own like mind and who openly share and can be really just very real with each other and very honest with each other. And I just love that I get to surround myself with people like that anytime I want to, because they're there, and it is just beautiful. So anyway, so I am recharged. I'm ready to go. And so I'm going to have so much fun with this show. So much fun. First of all, I got a lot going on in August, and I wanted to share that with you. But I also want to share that you can join the WLTKDB Talk Radio group on Facebook. And let's see what this says here. Yeah, WLTK-DB Talk Radio group. And you will see all of the shows posted in there. I don't even know how many shows we have. Every time I look, there's a new show. Lots of really cool stuff going on. We've got Todd and Nicole are coming back with their show, and I'm really excited about that. That's going to be on Friday nights. And of course, as I go to say that, it totally escapes my brain. So we'll get back to that. But it's really a lot of fun. There's so much new stuff going on here. I hope you all enjoyed the new countdown, because I sure did. That gave me a lot of time to get my act together here. So that was really cool for that. So I'm just going to go over with you my August events real quick for those who are interested. First of all, you already know the Monday night show, Be the Change. This coming Friday, I am teaching an astral travel class on Friday at 7:30 p.m. On Zoom. And you can go to my meetup page. That's meetup.com/1 Spirit Connection. Go into the events and the calendar. You can click on the date, the 12th, and that will take you to a link in the description, which will take you to where you can register for the class. Once you've registered and paid for the class, then the Zoom address will be emailed to you. That's the way I have all of my Zoom classes set up. So on the 12th is the astral travel class. On the 19th is spiritual protection class on Zoom. So, how to protect your energy. If you're interested in paranormal investigations, doing readings, being in public, there are ways to protect your energy where you can feel comfortable doing whatever it is that you need to do while you're out and about. On the 20th of August, I will be at the Mind, Body, Spirit Fair in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. and that will be at Pioneer Park for those of you who are familiar with the area. On the 21st, I will be at a Taste of Wellness, which is another wellness and psychic event, and that's at True North Emporium and Aha Wellness in Mercer, Wisconsin. On August 27th, if you are in southern Wisconsin, I will be doing another drum circle and healing ceremony at South Beach in Port Washington, Wisconsin, not to be confused with the one in Florida, Port Washington, Wisconsin. And on the August 28th is the Holistic Wellness and Psychic Fair by Refined Divine in Holman, Wisconsin. So those are the big events that I'm doing this month in August. And if you want to make an appointment with me for a private psychic reading, I have all kinds of flexibility in my schedule, days and evenings. Not a lot of weekends, as it turns out, but a lot of days and evenings. Just go to my website, ChristinaBloom.com, and use the contact form to contact me, or you can catch me through Messenger on Facebook. Okay, there's all the announcements that I have. And so tonight we are welcoming questions from the audience. They can be psychic questions. They can be questions about the topic. The topics are going to be spiritual awakenings and what they're really like, for those of you who might still be confused and think it's floating on a cloud, and staying on the spiritual path with integrity. Those are the two topics that Carolyn and I decided we were going to talk about tonight. And I really wanted to touch a little bit on the spiritual awakening because it's an ongoing process. As long as you are in a body on this planet, you're not finishing it. It's an ongoing process. We are always learning. We are always growing. We are always going through it. You know, there's plateaus where we get to take a breather. The dark night of the soul happens more than once. I hope that you're ready for that. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to chase people off. But seriously, please don't go into this thinking that it's going to be all sweetness and light, because it's really about facing everything that you've not wanted to ever. So that's part of it. And also realizing that a lot of what you have believed most of your life, maybe not, but maybe. So we're going to be talking to Carolyn about that. And hello, Jessica Scissorhands. I love that, by the way. That is so cool. That is such a neat name. Hi, Nikki. I'm so glad you're here. We are going to bring Carolyn Coleridge out. She is a psychotherapist and brought mindfulness into the mental health field. She's an intuitive, a healer. She has 3 books, virtual classes for women's opening to your spiritual gifts. She channels a high priest of ascension, teachings from ascended master, crystals, Atlantis, sodalite. This woman's amazing. You're gonna love her. Come on out, Carolyn.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. So we have talked about, I just threw a bunch of stuff out, but do you know the thing that I forgot to mention? Lion's Gate.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I ate today. Oh my gosh.
It's right. The Lion's Gate. It's a portal, right? Like this portal that it's on alignment of planets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the biggest manifesting day, I guess, of the whole year from what I've been reading and understanding. So there's extra energy coming onto Earth. And I find it interesting that in August, which is typically a very hot month, and where I live, it got up to like the mid 60s today. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, it's like you would think on a really high energy day it'd be hot, but it was really cool today. And for me, that was really refreshing. Is it still hot where you are?
Like 100 degrees today. It was really hot. It's in Connecticut. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hot. That is super hot.
It was like, it's very humid here, which I'm not used to. It's been a while, but yeah, the Lion's Gate is the star Sirius enters Leo, and Sirius was, the brightest star in the, the galaxy basically. and it makes a bridge between Sirius and Earth, like this really big bridge. And then this is during the Egyptian mystery schools. A lot of Egyptians would do ceremonies at the feet of the phoenix, and that's why they call the lions. Part of the reason they call it the Lion's Gate.
Okay.
So yeah, they were getting downloads, and that was connected to Isis and the healing. And at the goddess Isis had a mystery school initiation, and it was like kind of a rite of passage. And there also was is where Isis, I'm sorry, the Orion star system is aligned with the pyramids on that day. So it was a high, and then 8 is like as above, so below, and 8 is the affinity symbol that reminds us that we are souls, that we're infinite beings and go to eternity. And as was written in the book of life is also down below, as above, so below. So the 8 was a solidifying kind of information to know, okay, you're going into this high portal and you're opening up to higher realms. So some people leave their bodies. There was just a lot of different things that happened.
Yeah, there have been a lot of people doing that lately, leaving
Oh
their
yeah.
bodies.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
so many light workers and healers.
yeah. Yeah, so many just amazing people leaving their bodies
I
right now.
know.
It's crazy.
It is.
The other thing was we added another 8 to it because in Central Time, this show starts at 8 o'clock.
Oh,
So
that's
we have
right.
like 888. So it's
Ah,
like triple infinity. And
absolutely.
yeah,
That's great.
I was
Yeah.
pretty excited about. I know it's 9 o'clock for you, but I was pretty excited about the whole 888 thing.
Yeah, and definitely numbers are important. Numbers are where the universe speaks to us. And
Oh
so,
yeah,
yeah,
everything is mathematical.
uh-huh,
It's
100%.
it's really, yeah, when you get into that. So the portal is open, and Jessica wants to know. So the portal is open already, or is it opening today? It's open. It's been open for wow, since like July 20 something.
I heard, yeah, July, like I
Yeah,
heard 26th
20.
and I heard 6th and then I heard the 14th. So I'm not sure about when,
Yeah,
but
so but it closes, I think, around the 15th of August.
yes, absolutely.
Today is the pinnacle of it. Today is like
Yes.
the high pinnacle of it. Yeah.
Yeah, great time to meditate, to do automatic writing, write down and think about your intentions, because eight's all the number of abundance, but it's not just money. It could be life, relationships, health,
Health.
spiritual wisdom. It's like the intention of what you put out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Wow. See, I told y'all she was knowledgeable. She's really, she knows especially a lot more about the gate than I did. So um, let's talk about spiritual awakenings because right now a lot of people are going through that.
Mm,
A lot of people going through spiritual awakenings right now and feeling like they're losing their minds, feeling like
mhm.
what's happening to me. I used to be able to think straight. So let's talk about that. What is your take on a spiritual awakening and how that affects people in their lives?
Yeah, I call it, I wrote my book about it. I wrote Losing Your Mind or Finding the Divine. So a lot of times right now, especially past COVID, the word coronavirus, corona means crown. So it means it's a worldwide, the crown chakra was opening. Because we went into 2020 and 2020 is like everything is symbolic. Like, are we seeing clearly? So a lot of stuff was revealed during that time about, us, the government, what's going on. And a lot of people were looking within instead of without. So they're looking, they had to stay home. Quarantine is like the 40 days and 40 nights, quarantine means 40. So it was symbolic of us going within, like Christ went within during that time when he realized he had a higher consciousness and he was the Son of God. And then he had to, transform the earth plane and teach others that. So it's very symbolic of us to go within and to be with family, to look at our family, look at ancestors, look at life lessons, look at how our kids are, like listening or learning or what's going on in their life. And then it also is about like awakening to a higher consciousness because, during a quarantine, you can't go out. So you have to staying within yourself. So we moved from the Aquarian age, from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. So the Aquarian age is the age of the creator. So Aquarian meaning water, even though it's an air sign, Aquarian meaning water, is about flowing in your life. And when you flow in your life, that would mean that you're going with the flow of the signs, synchronicity, and messages. I call them SMS messages and numbers that come to us by the universe to help us to grow. So this was a big, huge, a control alt delete on the whole planet for us to wake up to higher consciousness. So 2012, so December 21st, 2012, was the end of the Mayan calendar. And the Mayan calendar was really, they were tracking time, the planetary system through time and space. So, 20, 2012, 20 May, December 21st, 2012 was when basically kind of the end of the Piscean age. When they say it was the end of time, it was the end of a time cycle, or it's the end of the time we know it. So the end of a time we know it, meaning that if you start looking into your life purpose, then what happens is that if you're doing something that you love, there feels like there's no time. So it's the end of like clocking into other people's time. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also the end of it takes 26,000 years for the Earth plane to go around the Milky Way galaxy, for the planetary system to go around the Milky Way, 26,000 years.
Wow.
So when it hit the center of the heart center of the galaxy, which is kind of in the center of it, in there was a symbol, very interesting, of the galactic picture of the yin and yang symbol. So that was the balance of the male-female energy. So getting back to bringing in the divine feminine onto the planet as we move into the Aquarian age, which is co-creating with the divine, co-creating. But the Piscean age was the fish, where it's like, this is what you live, this is the religion, this is this. But these things are breaking down, and now we're going back into how can I create with the universe and the universal symbols. And it's like, how do I, listen to the universal dialogue? How do I listen to my children or my family? How do I create with the divine? So this is kind of like a lot of like wake up calls. You see all the creativity with the millennials, with even from, way before that, YouTube, Facebook, and all that other stuff that they've created. But there's more of that coming up. So that's why people feel this need to leave their 9-to-5 jobs. So many people are leaving. They were home. They don't want to go back because they're feeling the energy of the Aquarian age. Like, well, what can I create? Or I like being at home,
Yeah, I like living on my time.
Exactly.
Which is why I went into my own business years ago, because it didn't make sense to me to give my time to something else that didn't matter to me. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of people are now doing that.
Right, because you were a creator, because you were tapped into your spiritual wisdom, your spiritual insight, your higher gifts, and you knew. And when you work for companies, you don't get those downloads as quickly, because spirit doesn't wait after 9 to 5 to get the downloads. It comes throughout the whole day. So you knew that.
Sure.
You knew that you are, because you're a creative being, you're a higher being. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been really interesting. I know my internet cut out for a minute and I had to do some finagling to get back on. You might not have even noticed I was gone, but it's all good.
Okay.
I was pretty quick about it. So yeah, I mean, the spiritual awakenings that we're going through, I mean, let's talk about some of what they call symptoms of spiritual awakening. And I know you probably covered some of those while you were talking and I was trying to get back online, but like Jessica says, yes, I've been feeling off. And feeling off is like one of the major symptoms. Like you can't really put your finger on it, but something's not right.
Exactly. And you might be feeling like, again, like not wanting to work 9 to 5, that, what is the meaning of life and all this? What am I going after these physical, attainments when they don't mean much? I want to go after something more spiritual or deeper. You go into your heart center. You could feel like very distractible, very distractive. You can't focus. This is a lot of ascension symbols. Some people have a lot of panic attacks. And as a psychotherapist, I have been a psychotherapist for 25 years. I've been a psychic for just as long, and an intuitive. A lot of times anxiety spiritually is people kind of not knowing their path, off their path. Depression to me is people not doing their path. They depress down what they're supposed to do because we get so bamboozled and programmed by society. You have to have this job. You have to do that. You have to fit into this little square peg and you're a triangle. It doesn't work. So, kind of a spiritual opening may be, I just don't want to go to my job anymore, but I don't know what I want to do. And that's the time when you really ask the universe, what is going on? What is happening? You go book an appointment with Christina, you go to a psychic, and they can see that higher perspective.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Now, she posted this as a statement, but I'm going to read it as a question. Hi, Tony. Thanks for being with us. But Jessica says, I've been trying to meditate and then my thoughts start to be negative. How do you deal with that? Like, what? I know I've had that too. And then I just have to stop myself and go, that's not what you're here for. You're in manifesting mode. Do not manifest that. Okay.
Absolutely.
So as a psychotherapist and a psychic, how would you suggest someone deals with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. That happens so often when you go on your spiritual path. There's two schools of this. Like sometimes what happens is sometimes you don't feel worthy, like for what you're doing, and then all the negative things come up. I can't do it. What is this? There's nothing tangible. I'm feeling angels, but I can't see them, or I'm feeling called to do this, but no one's done this before. No one has it. So you feel like you're kind of losing it. And you're kind of feeling like, oh, this is not right, or this is not enough. So that's part of the negativity comes up because other people will mirror that. They're like, what are you doing going to all those spiritual classes, reading that book that's so esoteric, that Abraham Hicks doesn't make any sense. So that can come up. And then you think that, guess what? The negative energy comes to you. That's one school of thought. Another is that when you're raising up to another vibration, even with friendships, you'll notice that people, if you change your vibration, people don't want to be around you. Why are you so positive? Why are you so happy? Like, where was my old friend that liked to, we can like complain together and hold each other's down and talk about things and cycle. So that happens too, that people don't like another person who raises their vibration or vibrates to this feeling of I'm a co-creator, I'm a manifester in life, that I have these abilities can really work. These are gifts from the spirit realm that you're beginning to remember. There's that. And there's the other more kind of religious way of looking at it. And other spiritual people feel this too, is that when you rise up, the dark side will come and try to pull you down. Like people who have focused intention to not make you succeed. You can call them devils or demons or just annoying people or annoying situations where you're like, why does everything negative happen when I'm growing spiritually? Because you're clearing yourself and you're clearing into higher realms. But just like I'm a mindfulness teacher, with mindfulness, you focus on the present, you focus on your heart center. And when you go to the negative, you go back to center. When you're going to fear, you go back to center. When you're going to anxiety, you go back to center and take a breath. And you constantly have to recenter yourself. And that way, many spiritualist people feel like you need to take deep breaths, you need to ground into the earth, and then connect to the heavens above, ground and protect. And so you bring in that higher energy, and then you sustain yourself there, even using crystals, smudging yourself, other things. But negativity will come up because you're doing a path. Usually you're creating a path that maybe a lot of people around you are not doing, or don't know how to do it. Yeah, you feel that way too, Christine?
Yeah, I do. And also, I've also noticed with me, like when I'm already upset about something and then I try to meditate it away, what I'm
Mm.
upset about keeps cropping up and I have to keep releasing it. And I have to keep saying, going to go another way now, going to go another way now. We trained our brains to be one way. It takes time to do that shift and train our brains to be another way.
100%.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, and all of that, in addition to what you just said, I think is really good. And I don't know if you're watching the comment. Jessica Cat says, "Oh, that makes sense."
For some reason, I can't
Makes
see the
sense.
comments. Maybe I'm on the wrong
It says
part.
private chat and
Ah,
comments right next to it.
there it is. Now I see
There you
them.
go.
Oh,
Yeah, it took me
yeah.
almost a year to figure that out. Don't feel
Oh,
bad.
okay.
Okay. So
Oh.
Tony brings to the table, new to channel, was wondering if you feel spirit around me, new to the channel, this channel.
Oh,
Yeah, not channeling, because that's the way I
me
read it
too.
the first time, but now I got it. Okay. Due to channel, was wondering if you feel spirit around me. I have this lamp that goes on and off, flicking, thinking it's spirit, but who? Any thoughts?
Hmm. Well, I feel that it's definitely a spirit because spirit uses energy. And if you've been asking, because they're electromagnetic beings or ectoplasm, so the spirits will always use lights or, televisions or different things to flick. So I feel it's just like a spirit energy around. But, I would even ask, I would say, what spirit is there? And again, we used to channel like you, I thought, oh, he's automatic writing.
Yeah.
But you can ask and always protect yourself. Always ask for the highest consciousness, Buddha, Christ, whatever, and say, who is in the room? Because a lot of times when we open up, that's why I don't know how you feel about Ouija board, but when people open up to stuff like that, you can pick up anything. It's like opening your door to another dimension. So you want to like bringing the highest positive light and say, are you of the light? And who are you? And then see what happens. But always ground, protect, calling your guides, calling your angels, and say, I want a positive experience. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never actually had a negative experience with a Ouija board, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I've always had positive experiences with them. I don't use them all
Wow.
the time. I have one shoved in a box somewhere. I have no idea where, but I have used them, and they have brought up some pretty miraculous results. But that said, they sell them at toy stores, and
Mhm.
they don't give you directions on how to set your space, how to
Mm.
set your energy space, how to draw boundaries. All of that stuff needs to be used with any tool you're using. I don't care if it's a Ouija board or a pendulum or a deck of oracle cards, tarot cards, whatever, your own intuition. Make sure that you set a safe space around yourself and that you are very clear about only letting in the highest elements of love and light.
And that's kind of like how I woke up spiritually, because the problem, I mean, with me though, I work in mental health. So a lot of people I work with are just have if you're depressed, you're very negative. And since I'm a therapist and intuitive, I attract people that may be depressed. And
Right.
sometimes if they have a lot of trauma, they can attract darker energies. So that's why I kind of get edgy on the board, but everyone's different. If you're, if you're a person that's, you're securing your psychic ability, that's one thing. But how I opened up was when I was studying at Columbia to be a therapist. I started to see ghosts out of the blue, and they just kept coming at me, coming at me. They weren't scary. They were just wanted to chat. They wanted like afterlife therapy. But I was just like, I've never saw ghosts. That's what I call it. I never saw ghosts before. And I'm like, what are they doing here? And I was just kind of, because they looked physical. They would, bump my bed and they would talk to me, and it bothered me. And I went to a psychic in New York City, and I said, well, what the hell is going on here? I'm working as a therapist. They're going to think I'm psychotic, if I'm saying I'm hearing and seeing ghosts. So I was really nervous about like losing, my place in the university. And she goes, well, what did you do? And I said, she goes, did you open yourself up? And I said, no, I just happened. She didn't do anything. I said, oh, I was reading a book on how to contact your angels. And she goes, did you protect yourself? I'm like, what's that? She goes, oh my God, you have to do it. You can't just open up. That's why they need to do that.
Yeah.
So I opened myself out without knowing. And luckily I was attracting higher beings, but none of them were mean. But, that's the kind of thing that can happen if someone's a little off center. Like a lot of people, mental health, that are depressed or anxious to get hospitalized, I see shadows, and they're negative shadows. I'm always cautious about that. But I did open up to the realm without knowing. And then I learned to put the guardian angels around me, learned to go around and protect. And then I was able to, they don't bother me as much. Every once in a while, if I go to a hotel, if I don't sage, I'll see something. But so, that's kind of like, it's important to, learn all the skills, I feel. But again, I'm working with a different population sometimes.
I agree with you. I do want to get back to Tony's though, because
Okay.
she had, is there any thoughts about who might
Oh.
be flickering the lights? And I actually did have a thought. I feel like it's a man who's related to you, possibly a father or grandfather, and they're just, he's just there to let you know he's there. He's there to let you know that he's watching out for you and that you're safe. And if he does something, he also wants me to tell you that if he does something different, that means that there's something going on in your home as far as the mechanics of your home. So it could be electricity, it could be, water, it could be something like that. As far as mechanics of your home, he's concerned that there might be something going on there that you might want to get checked out. It could also be something like, what is that, carbon monoxide or something like that. Make sure that all your batteries are fresh and all of your alarm things, because for some reason he's concerned about that. So I just wanted to answer that question for you. Thanks, Tony. And Nikki said, this is a really good point, so I want to make sure that it gets out there. She says, if my mind starts to stray to thoughts I don't want during meditation, I'll pick a guided meditation for love, or let go, or to let go of anxiety and take baby steps away from my negativity. That works for me. That's a great idea, particularly with people who are new to meditation.
I wholeheartedly agree. I'm on
Yeah.
Insight Timer app, and I have a lot of meditations out there. Meditation with the trees, meditation with, the wind and the sun and everyone. So because it helps people to go along with the flow. So at the beginning,
Yeah.
and also I have a meditation center in Connecticut. I highly recommend getting into a group because you get a good teacher that can teach you how to meditate, so that like when the ins and out comes up, what to do with it. But guided meditations are excellent.
Yeah, that is. And by the way, and I'm just going to put in a plug for myself here. On my website, there is a meditation page, and there are 6 meditations on there completely free. They're all guided meditations. Some are just a couple minutes long. I think the longest one, it might be for like 15 minutes, but get you right there. Yeah, and they're completely free. You can listen to them on the website. I believe you can also download them. If you can't, let me know, because I think you can, but I could be wrong. I don't do my own website, so I don't even know. So, all right. Now, what were you going to say, Carolyn? Because you said that you saw something.
Oh, saw something in some a word. What do you girls see my future? I was just looking at some of the chat. Um, oh, you mean with his father, or do you mean just in general?
I don't know. I
Oh,
interrupted you, so I wasn't sure where you were going.
oh, I'm
Jessica said, okay, we'll just go to this. Jessica
okay.
says, what do you girls see in my future? Need
Yeah,
guidance, please. Been feeling stuck, but like Carolyn mentioned, we all have been feeling lost.
Jessica Scissorhands. I love it.
I know.
Uh,
Isn't that a cool name?
yeah. I feel like first thing I'm getting right away is deep breaths, like breathing in and breathing out. And I feel like more lessons on how to create, how to co-create. And I get like creativity, like something creative you should be doing. I don't know what kind of work you do, but if you should move more into creativity, and then meditating, breathing, and I feel like I get Archangel Raphael around you. So I don't know if you've done healing or interested in healing work, because usually he shows up when someone's supposed to do healing work, and or heal themselves. But I get maybe, and I get something with the throat chakra. So speaking up or speaking your truth or doing something creative. Does that resonate with you, Jessica Cat? Um, Jessica. Okay,
Jessica.
Jessica.
I know. Isn't that
Uh,
cool? Jessica says her hands. I love it.
yeah. Um, I don't know. I guess they have to wait to tap it in.
Yeah, she has to type it in. And I wanted to add to what
Mhm.
Carolyn said, because she said some really good things. The other thing is, you brought up the throat chakra, and I'm really feeling like,
Oh, good. She's been
the,
getting Archangel Raphael.
okay,
Sorry.
good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Hmm.
and Michael,
Mm.
cool. Because I felt the throat chakra too with Jessica. And
Oh.
as creative as you obviously are, it seems like you have trouble speaking with your voice. And
Mhm.
it's hard to articulate, because I feel like there's just this thing that holds you back. Like you're afraid. I don't know what you're afraid of, and maybe you wouldn't classify it as fear, but it feels like you're hesitant to speak your truth, and it feels like you're hesitant to stand up and say who you are and what you're thinking. And I have to tell you, if that results in someone walking away from you, congratulations.
Mhm.
Because that's what needed to happen.
Mhm. 100% agree. And she's actually confirming what you're saying. Feeling
Yeah.
lost, what would people think of me? Then helping people. But helping people, by the way, is the highest gift that we can do, because we're all kind of whole souls here together. So when you get to the point of not just helping yourself, but helping others, as you help yourself, you're doing high spiritual work. So Archangel Raphael is for healing, and Archangel Michael is to help you find your purpose and remove the blocks that will do that. And I feel like sometimes too, you may have to like start resonate. That's probably why you're on this chat room or this and on her show, because you need like-minded people. You have to surround yourself with people who understand this spiritual. It's a calling. A lot of
It is.
times when you feel doing spiritual work, you've been called. Calling is the call of the divine, call of the creator. It's something that happens repetitively. It happens all the time. That's part of spiritual awakening. You feel like, you know what, I can't work this job anymore. Or, I've always wanted to try this and try that. Get your backup of spirit guides and angels, do your research and start doing it. That's really important. Oh, you've been doing high spiritual work. That's great, Jessica.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Jessica says her hands. I just love that name.
She also said, I've been feeling lost what people would think of me because I've been helping people. I just want to bring another thing to the table, is that make sure that when you're helping people, they actually want the help. Because sometimes we try to help people and they're really not interested in what we have to offer. They're getting your attention. Oh, scissor hands, because she does hair. Oh, that is awesome. I love it. I love it.
It's so weird because I was just in a class with doing like a mediumship training with somebody, just assisting. And one of the women who was really good was a hairdresser. And the medium in the group was like, it was a fundraiser for a group I'm part of. And he's like, they're the most psychic people because you're working with the crown chakra. Yeah. And they're like the therapists, like they work with the crowns, you open up the crown, and then usually you're open to that too. So I have a lot of hairdressers that call me. I think I have one person that gave out my name, but they are very open to that because they're kind of mini counselors. Like, we're crazy. Oh no, don't do. Well, I mean, sometimes, if, again, changing around like-minded people and tuning into stuff. I used to say, people say, oh, that's so weird. It's so weird. And I say weird is wonderful, like used as an acronym. Exciting, it's I, it's interesting, R is rewarding, and D is part of your destiny. So when you're in the spiritual community, what's weird is really what's cool. Is what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. We're the cool kids, Jessica. Don't listen to those people.
Yeah.
I love that. The thing is, though, I don't know. I think that intuition is the single most natural thing in existence. It is the most natural thing in existence. And I just realized, I think we were supposed to take a break.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to break. And then we'll be back and we will talk about staying on the spiritual path with integrity.
Nice.
Would you like to be a part of something new, something different? Host a show with WLTK DB Talk Radio and dare to be different. We offer full production and live engineering of your show by a real person, not a pesky computer. Just visit WLTKDB.com and click pricing to get started. It's not as much as you think and a great way for you to get your message to the world. Better hurry. Slots fill up fast and you don't want to miss out on this excellent opportunity. Visit WLTKDB.com and contact us for more information now. WLTKDB Talk Radio. Paranormal talk is our business, and business is good. From its beginnings, Used was created to unleash the excellence of nature's healing powers and bring them to people everywhere. With almost 90 years in the market, they are considered a worldwide pioneer in complete herbal wellness therapy. All Swiss Used products are natural, essential oil-based, pleasant, and harmonious. They are extracted from plants and herbs with the latest technology to ensure the best results. Swiss Used Live Healthy with consultant Stephanie will guide you in the right direction to find the perfect essential products just for you. For example, have an upset tummy? Try our soothing chamomile that has not only been used by many, but trusted for years. Keep in mind, you just can't get these amazing oils at your local shopping center. They're just too special. For that, you need a connection. And that connection is Stephanie. Want some? Then head on over to Facebook and search Swiss Used Live Healthy. That's Swiss Used Live Healthy. And contact Stephanie today.
Hey, everybody. everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to Be the Change on WLTKDB.com, Paranormal Talk Radio. It is 43 minutes past the hour, and I am here with intuitive psychic healer. Oh my gosh, so much amazing stuff. Mindfulness coach, meditation teacher, Carolyn Coleridge. All right. So Jessica had one last question. Do you see me in the future getting my gifts stronger, helping lots of people?
100%. Yes, because you're already opening your crown with the work you're doing. And then I just feel like getting more centered because I feel like your energy goes a lot of different places.
Yeah,
And
I would
now
agree.
when I said creative, that makes sense if you're a hairdresser. That's totally,
Yeah.
you could take it, longer into it. I actually feel like working with the chakras, as Christina said, is really good. And then yeah, you can, I mean, if you're open and you're like more gifted than others, some people can try, but I feel it's like, yeah, like Christina said, intuition is the language of spirit, like what language does spirit speak? Intuition, so when the intuition starts getting stronger, your spirit's speaking to you. So that's like, and I can explain to you how your spirit functions, but Christina, if you want to.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So when I worked in mental health, a lot of people were, depressed, and I would say, well, have you like honored your spirit? And that's the name of my book. And they're like, what's spirit? And I said, well, so spirit gave me this acronym. It's something that you work with. It's part of who you are. You think of ice, water, and steam. Ice would be your physical body. Water would be your organs and your heart and your blood. And steam would be your spirit. It's all the same substance, but it's different vibrations that make it look differently. So a lot of times when people say, well, what is my spirit? I say, well, let's take it down. Make it very simple. It's very simple. We are spiritual beings that come to earth to grow and learn, and then we go back home to heaven, to another dimension, another existence. So S, when you see synchronicity and signs, breaking down the word spirit, that's your spirit speaking to you. Whenever you see synchronicities, like you see 1111, or you say, I want to be a teacher, and then this other person says, oh, there's a school that has discount for teachers. You're like, my God, what is that, a sign? Yes, that's a sign. Or you might see like an owl. You're looking for spiritual growth. You look it up as a totem animal. Owl means spiritual growth. That's a message. So whenever you see the synchronicity and signs, that's your spirit, like a snake moving towards you. P, whenever you want to find your purpose or your passion, what's your passion is what your purpose is. So if you're passionate about, I was passionate about metaphysics when I started seeing ghosts, and about healing, and about, because I'm a social worker and a therapist, about, like UFOs and incense and crystals. I just love that stuff because it all honored the spirit. So that's my passion. Then it became my purpose. And, years later, I opened up a spirits place where I am a holistic, healing center and a meditation center. It's because when people meditate, they open up to the spiritual realm. So that's the opening for them to work more with their spirit, which has brought you here, and at the end of life will take you out. So any purpose and passion, that's your spiritual path. Whatever, your spirit is intuitive. So that's a language of spirit. How does spirit speak? Like I said before, through telepathy or your intuition. It's not always words. You can see, feel, hear. You might have visions. You might hear a word. You might see colors, or you might feel something. A lot of empaths, that's clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant. So your spirit is intuitive. So that's the language of spirit. And also, spirit is intelligent. When you start listening to spirit, you connect to the Holy Spirit, which is the spirit of the divine. And when I say it's intelligent, like universe, God knew that years earlier, when I started seeing ghosts and I was studying to be a therapist, that I would not lose my mind, because my mother used to see ghosts. My mother was a science teacher, but she used to hear messages. She was a medium of sorts. She'd, see her relatives. So whenever I called my mom, I said, Mom, my God, I saw ghosts. She's like, okay, fine. What are your grades like? And I'm like, I'm terrified. These ghosts are pushing me. It's nervous. She minimized it. So she normalized it for me. And then, I call again. I said, Mom, the ghosts are shaking my beds and they're chatting. And she goes, Mom, my grandmother, she's like, oh, great. How are her grades? So they both normalize it. They're like, we're both like this. It's a part and parcel of who we are as spirits. It's very positive. There's nothing wrong with it. We're souls and we communicate with people outside of their bodies. That's okay. So that's the intelligence of spirit. So God knew setting me up years ago. You can trust. When spirit leads you, trust it. Okay. And I'll get to that. So that's the intelligence and the intuition are you have to renew and rejuvenate. Your spirit is a functional part of who you are as a person. So how do you renew and rejuvenate your spirit? You go to nature. You actually smudge yourself. You use essential oils. You use, incense. You work with the energy of spirit. And then you might go to a spa or a sauna and you meditate. These are ways to rejuvenate your spirit. You give it more energy so that it can answer questions about intuition. It can hear the message through meditation. It can get to those higher realms and normalize ghosts. So you have to constantly take care of this energy called your spirit. So that's R. The other I is spirit is inspirational. What is spirit? Anything that inspires you. It could be music. It could be art. It could be helping people. If somebody says to me, oh my God, Carolyn, what you said to me helped me so much, I feel inspired. Some people are like, I don't want to hear that. But for me, it gives me energy and light. And I'm like, oh, I'm on my path. I just feel it. Or if I get the chills or, the hair on the back of my neck stands up, that's the spirit speaking to me. So what inspires you is part of your spiritual path. And then whatever your spiritual gifts is, you're going to be more insightful than other people because that's your gift. So that's the other eye. So if you are feeling very inspired, we're hearing people's problems, and then you throw in a meditation or a meaning, that's the insight. Like my insight was a little bit different than therapists because I would bring in not like, well, what happened to you when you were 5? I would go like, well, what's your relationship with your dad like? Do you guys get along? Have you ever heard from him? Oh, my father passed on. And that's interesting you brought it up because it's always been a problem. So I would go right to the core issue. So not to waste time going in circles like a lot of therapists do, though I respect therapists, but I would, use that insight to help people on another level. So that's the other I. So we're spelling spirit, SPIRIT. Whenever you get a message from spirit, you have to trust it. And it's always the truth. It's always the truth. And you'll know. And I'm sure Christina sounds like she does intuitive development classes. I do it, where you learn to that differentiation between what's right, what's a hit, and then or no, or what is not. And you'll start to become more fluid in the language of spirit. So spirit is a functional part of who we are. And I use that acronym. So people with mental health are like, oh my God, I saw my grandmother. I thought I was crazy. Oh my God, I get chills all the time. I get overwhelmed by crowds. And that really helped people to normalize your spirit messages that come to you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was real. I like the way you break down words like that into acronyms. I really like that. I do want to answer Jessica's question. And what if you find an owl feather? And because I come from a Native American background. So for me, any communication with the animals is sacred. And when you find a feather from a specific bird and one that you don't often find, I mean, if you have, I don't know, chickadees in your yard and they're fluffing their feathers all over the place. I don't think that's exactly the same as when you find one from, say, a raven or an owl or a hawk or whatever. And owls are messengers. Owls are messengers from the other side. They fly they fly in the night, right? So they're nocturnal. They bring messages. Usually when you find an owl feather, it's a message that someone is trying to contact you. Someone on the other side is trying to contact you.
100%. Yes. I teach a lot totem animals. Not only because they've come to me in so many different ways. For years when I opened up, I was like, who's my spirit guide? And I constantly saw feathers, but they were all different types, like feather, feather, feather. I would walk out, there's a feather there. Walk, there's a feather in my car. Walk, there's a feather in front of my house. And then all of a sudden there were 44 feathers, which is a very significant number, which is the number of angels. And I was like, oh my God, I saw 44 feathers. And I realized it was my spirit guide. And somebody on Facebook was joking and said, oh, you're being stalked by Big Bird, But And then I was like, well, I was really new on the path. And I said, well, I got, who is it? And I went to a reader and she's like, your spirit guide's saying he's eagle feather and he's been trying to get your attention. I'm like, oh my God, there it is. So there was the last
There it
one I saw
is.
was a big eagle feather. So, and then if you see
Cool.
a frog, it means like, jump to new, or grasshopper, jump to new opportunities. A lot of times I'll see, out here, I see a lot of hawks, and I have a lot of stories about hawks, but it represents my mother, and it represents looking at life from a higher perspective. So every animal, because the creator creates all these animals, has a symbolic meaning. And I think the Native Americans made it famous, but other cultures have it. Like
Mhm.
totem animals, like a totem pole, and you look up the animals. I couldn't believe how many times I would think of something, see a butterfly, it would meant transformation. It'd be exactly the message I needed to hear. So I highly recommend paying attention to the universal dialogue that comes through animals and insects, and praying mantises, or what's it, dragonflies, they all, or the little, the birds with the little wings, what are they called? The little
Hummingbirds.
hummingbirds, which even more
Yes.
people flip my
You did
mind.
this, I automatically knew it was hummingbirds.
Right. Because the reason like they do that is because they say that they have these chubby little cute little bodies, but little wings, and it means overcoming feats. They overcome the feat to be able to keep themselves in a presence, and also looking at life, overcoming feats and looking at the sweetness of life, because they take the nectar out. So pay attention. And somebody said, Nikki, hi. 1111, that means that's the opening. I feel like 1111 is literally the opening to the spiritual world, the
Mhm.
opening. 1111 is four, so it's meaning also the four directions, the four, elements, fire, air, earth, and water. We have four, it's like the foundation, the four legs of a table. But 1111 is the opening, and also means in the tarot deck, it's like the tower cards. So it means transforming your life. So once you see 1111, the spirit world's like, hello, hello, we're here. And then you start seeing more
Yeah.
and more numbers.
We're knocking. Open the
Exactly.
door.
Exactly.
All
Right.
right. Nicole joined us. Welcome, Nicole. And she says, can our intuition try to warn us about things that are about to happen? And how do we learn to, she said turn into it, but I think she meant tune into it. She could have
Mm.
meant turn into it. I'm just going to jump in here real quick and say, absolutely. My intuition has warned me so many times. And sometimes it's really little things. Sometimes it's like, go a different way home. You don't know why you're doing it, but you just get this urge, and you just get this urgency behind it to go another way home. And then you get home, and then you find out that maybe there was a backup of traffic, or there was an accident, or there was road construction that wasn't there in the morning, or whatever. And you find out that you were led a safer way home. And sometimes I have gotten the hit, like I've been looking forward to doing something, to going somewhere, to some event or something. And then at the last minute, it's like, I don't know why, but I can't go.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time I have found out that something happened where I could have been hurt had I gone.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yes. Your
Yeah.
intuition is your warning signal, because your
Mhm.
spirit, how I explain it again, like I love the way you said that, because because you live that spiritual life. Your aura is very large. It's about 2, 3, 4 feet around you. And the aura has little antennas on it. That's the different colors around you. And when the aura goes out, it's like it can feel things. That's why when you see somebody across the room and you're like, I don't like this person. Everyone's like, you're so negative. And then you meet and talk to them and you're like, oh my God, I was right. Because the antenna is going out and it's like kind of, like kind of like seeing what's comfortable. So the
Yeah.
aura kind of knows what's it. So it can kind of sense things because you're working with your sensory clairsentient ability. So a lot of times that you'll get these messages more and more, because there really is no time. That's a whole nother story. So you
That's a whole new show. That's
right,
like a whole new show.
right, time
Yeah.
warping and stuff. So a lot of times you'll feel certain things and you'll know things, and sometimes spirits will show up. Like I remember I was at Columbia studying, and I was younger and thinner, and my little shorts on, my little air sense, was walking like being all cute, with my books. Columbia's in Harlem. I was walking up to Harlem, and somebody grabbed my arm, and this guy's like, be careful. That guy's looking at you weird. I think he's going to attack you. And I turned around and I said, what guy? And the guy looked really creepy. And I said, oh my God, let me take off my earphones. And I turned around to thank the guy. There was no one there. There was a lot of people on the subway. There was no one there. So spirit guide jumped in, be careful. And it warned me. And then I never walked with my earphones again, like I had to be aware of all I was doing. I was young and naive. So that can warn you for car accident. I've heard of people like going through, like these two cars are going to collide and they literally miss each other. I've had those experiences. Sometimes you get certain foods and you just like, I don't think this food is good. And you like, or you go in a restaurant, the vibe is weird and you like walk out and you find out instead of an A rating, it's a C or something. I mean, your intuition could save you in a lot of ways.
There is so much. We have like a minute left. So first of all, I want to say, Jessica, I'm so glad that we've been able to help you. She said that I feel my grandpa touching my head at night times. And my grandma, thank you, girls. This life is helping me a lot. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I do this show to help people. And so it's really glad for me. I'm so happy to hear that. And Nikki has a friendly shadow dog, and it is not the only thing she's been seeing lately. And I've known Nikki since she was in high school, and she is just opening up so beautifully, and she has been for years. And Nicole says, I recently had this happen, but there was nothing I could do, and I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And now you feel so closed. Do you feel closed, Nicole, because you didn't listen to that intuition, or because you got hurt? And if you did, I'm so sorry. I don't ever want anyone to get hurt. And I would really, really like to continue this conversation. But we are going to have to get going because Todd's got a thunderstorm going on and he needs to get off the air so he can take care of his equipment. Nicole, I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'm so sorry.
Wow. It's heartbreaking.
Sweetie, I'm so sorry. You can send me an email at Psychic Christina, I think it's 67, and I wrote it down. And Psychic Christina 67 at gmail.com. And we can chat about it in email. But we do need to let Todd go. We aren't going to have time for a meditation tonight, but that's okay because the conversation was amazing. And Carolyn, I so want to thank you for being here. I have so enjoyed having you on the show. You've made an amazing difference to the guests here. And I'm just so happy that you're here. And we need to connect again and pick a different topic. We never even got to the second half of our topic. So
wow. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is really awesome.
You're welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm so glad that Nikki, Nicole, Jessica, Tony, thank you all for being here. And anyone else who was listening who didn't actually participate in the chat, welcome. I'm so glad that you were here too. And we are going to have to sign off, but have a lovely, lovely week. And I will see you all next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.